Boy, do I love seeing that sun, even if it's all up in my eyes. Today, we have several things we're going to be doing in the garden. So I've got a cabbage plant. I didn't get to planting cabbage seeds, so I just want to experiment, see how I grow cabbage here, how well it does, how well I can keep it alive. Also, I've just never grown cabbage, so I kind of just want to see the life of the cabbage. Also, I had one just regular russet potato that went rogue on me, so I cut it several days ago now. It's been several days. I don't know if you can see how it's scabbed over. And then I got some seed potatoes, some red seed potatoes that have been chitting, and they've all scabbed over as well. So I'm gonna get those in the ground. Chitting is what that's called, by the way, when they are producing little eyes on them. I'm also just gonna, between them, plant some of these Uzbek golden carrots. And then I saved some marigold seeds from last year, so plant those around to get some pollinators going. So planting that in this planter box here. All right, first things first, I'm gonna make my potting mix to put on top of the potatoes. Here I got my clearance open bag potting soil, which I love to snag whenever I'm at Lowe's, Home Depot's. A lot of the big box stores will significantly discount your ripped bags. Some of the smaller places won't, but that's one perk of the bigger box stores, even though they have lots of things that aren't such great perks. Next, I throw in some compost manure mix. I ran out of my homemade compost, so that's gonna be, I'm not gonna have any more ready until probably the fall. And some perlite here. I didn't add a whole bunch because the potting mix already had some perlite in it, so I'm just gonna mix that up so that it will all be incorporated and be able to go right on top of my potatoes. So now I'm ready to put my potatoes down. So I have not put that other potting soil in. I'm putting them eyes up, and they're supposed to be about a foot apart, but you know, I fudged it a little bit, and mine are probably more like 8 or 9 inches apart just for sake of space. We're gonna put these, like I said, eyes side up, and then we're going to put soil on top, about 5 or 6 inches on top, so that they will grow up through the soil. And we're going to cover this with our potting soil that we already made. Yeah, get it all covered. I ended up having to snag some more potting soil, so we had to quick whip up some more with this other organic stuff that I found on sale from Whitney Farms. So adding the perlite like I did before, but I'm checking here now because I'm realizing this potting mix actually already has compost, a lot of composted things in it, so I'm not going to use up my other last bit of compost, and we're just going to incorporate this before we throw it in the planter. And if you've never bought potting soil right after a freeze, you might not understand why I have all these huge clumps. Well, that is exactly what's happened, is they've frozen together, and even when they thawed, they are still clumped together and they haven't broken apart. You see here, you got big old clumps. You know, it's hard for me to get that perlite completely incorporated, so being able to do that here in the planter is also a nice option. All right, time to plant our marigolds. again, these are seeds that I harvested straight from Marigolds from last season. So I'm just going to put some in the corner up here, just so that maybe I can grow some pollinators or some flowers to be pollinators, to attract the pollinators for a good harvest. Now we'll get those carrot seeds planted. These were a free seed packet that I got from my Baker Creek seed order. So I'm going to make a couple of rows of them between the potatoes here, see how well they do. I'm not sure if they will do well, so I guess we'll find out this year. This is my first year growing potatoes, and I tried to grow carrots last fall, and it was not a great success. I got essentially little baby carrots that were barely edible. I mean, they were edible, they were really delicious, but they barely provided any real sustenance. But we're going to try it again here in the spring. Now, before we head inside to work on a little project inside, I wanted to show you how this bed turned out, as well as once I got the cabbage in the ground. So I planted 2 tomato plants along with these potatoes and some basil. So looking good. And then my cabbage is there in the corner of my other flower bed. So excited about that. Everyone, I wanted to show you a quick way that I like to save a few bucks when I am buying vegetable starts or herb starts. So a lot of vegetables I grow from seed, a lot of herbs I grow from seed, but one of them that, actually 2 of them that are really challenging for me to get from seed are cilantro and oregano. Now oregano, whenever I buy it like already started, it only comes with 1 stem, but cilantro, if you keep looking, I got this at Lowe's, if you keep looking, you'll find some that have multiple seed starts, herb starts. This one looks like it might have 4. We're gonna have to dig in there and see. So how awesome. I'll share one with a friend, grow a few myself. Wait, is that 5? Maybe 5. We'll see. I've gathered a few containers to put these transplants in, and one of them is this 2-cup system I've made from Dutch Bros cups, and some recycled or reused vegetable start containers. So tearing them apart turned out to be a little tricky because the root systems were so entangled with one another, but we worked it out. And then even getting some of them apart turned out to be too much of a challenge, as they began to be way too tangled up. As you can see here, I'm just kind of trying to get them apart, but then I realized I probably am going to damage too much of the root too close to the crown or the stem, and so I decided to just forego on it. That same thing happens with one later on as well when I'm trying to take them apart here. And I'm just, you know what, I just need to scrap it and move on. The soil that they use in this starter mix is actually a lot of cocoa coir, which is great for starts, but not great if you're trying to keep your nutrients well into your soil so that it will continue feeding your plants. So I mixed it in there with the potting soil that I had mixed up already, created with some perlite and and some compost and some already good potting mix. So got that all set up in my little Dutch Bros 2-cup system here, so I can give that to a friend, and decided to go ahead and reuse the container it made to put my last cilantro plant in. I'll be keeping 2 of these for myself and then giving 1 away as a gift. So we are set, and let's take a look at how they turned out. They're loving that Texas sun. Whoop! All right, I hope you enjoyed following me around a little bit in the garden and also here in the kitchen next to the windowsill. doing that cilantro. But let me know if you have any questions, if you have any advice. I'm always open to doing better. So I'm definitely looking forward to looking at the comments and seeing what insight you guys have. What other plant starts have you guys done that have multiple plants within the one container? I'd be curious to know if there's other goodies out there other than herbs, because that's the only one I've ever seen that provides multiple plants. So let me know, give me a like and subscribe. You know, your girl loves it and it helps a lot. It's free for you and it's helpful for me. So see you on the next one. Bye.